just gonna go right into it and say the pros and cons about living in New York. I'm probably gonna start with the pros and finish out with the cons. But the best thing about living in New York is probably the flashing lights. For the simple fact that not a lot of people could come to New York and say that, they seen red, yellow, and green lights flickering down one strip of the block. Like, you could literally go to like Fifth Ave, Madison Ave, 7th Ave, and see nothing but lights changing and shit like that. The Big Apple is one of them too. It's always a great environment when you go into the Big Apple. So lights, if you want to see flashing lights, the Big Apple is one of them. Another pro about New York is shopping areas. You could buy anything you want. You could literally buy the whole store if you choose to. Buns, what the hell are you looking at? As I was saying, shopping areas is one of them. Bay Plaza, Queens Mall, Brooklyn Mall. I know nothing about Staten Island, so don't even comment about Staten Island. I don't know shit about Staten Island. There's a lot of good places to go shopping, so that's one of the pros about coming to New York. Another pro about New York is the community. Housing projects, the community that's there, the vibe that's there, that come together for people is strong. Like, you don't have to know anybody, but I'm pretty sure there's got to be at least 1 or 2, possibly between 1 and 5 people that's gonna come to you like, yo, you live here now. It don't matter if you've been here for 2 years. We got you. You get what I'm saying? Like, there's a lot of people that will actually be like, yo, like, you my mans, and this, that, and the third. Like, you don't have to know nobody. As soon as you move in, somebody's gonna help you move in. Like, yo, I got you. You get what I'm saying? Like, that's the type of shit. That's the type of vibe that goes on in housing projects. Anywhere in housing projects, like the vibe in housing projects is a family. Like, you ain't gotta walk out like, yo, like, I gotta come outside with a knife just in case somebody try to rob me at 9 o'clock, 12 o'clock at night. Ain't nobody gonna rob you. You live here now. You get what I'm saying? So that's one of the pros about living in housing projects. That it's a family. It's not a community. It's a family. And honestly, another pro is getting on the train. Transportation here is pretty quick. I'm not gonna lie to you. All you gotta do is jump on a train and take it anywhere you want to go. Like, there's not really any train traffic that really goes on in the state of New York. You honestly could get to your destination within 20 minutes within the first 4 boroughs. What's up, Barnes? You wanna jump up here? Another thing about the pros of New York is the bus transportation. The bus transportation is spot on sometimes, depending on traffic and stuff like that. So if you're coming from like Battery Park, there'll be a bus literally outside. There'll be one right behind that one. And then in the Bronx too, there's always a bus right behind another one. So it doesn't really matter if you miss one bus and then you gotta wait 20 minutes for another bus, like somewhere in New Rochelle or Mamaroneck, Mount Vernon, stuff like that. Like, all you gotta do is just stay in there for 5 minutes, and then there's a bus turning around the block or coming from down the block. Like, there's always a bus right behind a bus. That's one of the pros about New York, and that's the best part, because it's the same thing with the trains. There's always a train behind a train. It's not like you gotta sit there and wait 20, 30 minutes for one train. Like, there's always a train a minute or two right behind another one. So that's another pro about New York. Yo, what the fuck is on your jaw, B? Another pro about New York is the bodega stores. Jesus Christ. There's always a bodega store 10 feet away from each other. I'm not even exaggerating that. There's always a bodega store somewhere. Like, there'll be a bodega store on the corner. There'll be one right after the laundromat, right after the 99-cent store, right after the Spanish spot. Like, I'm not even exaggerating that. Like, there's always a bodega store somewhere. Like, hands down, there's always a bodega store somewhere. Now I'm gonna move on to the cons. The cons about living in New York is definitely public transportation. Because it'd be trains right behind of a train. Train traffic doesn't really occur that way because it's rush hour. So trains is really moving, they in and out of stations. The only thing that's bad about the trains, the MTA, trains, buses, anything is, there be a whole lot of people on a certain bus. So you get on the train at 14th Street, obviously there's a crowd of people waiting for a particular train because down the line, three of these trains actually split, okay? The 6 train goes one way after 125th Street, the 4 and 5 go another way, and then the 4 and 5 split at 149th Street Grand Concourse. So, which means that all these people on 3 of these trains, they're going uptown, but they're going in different directions. Uptown. Not a pro, a con about living in New York is the construction sites that literally be happening in the middle of a street. Another con, I don't want to say this, but sometimes it can be living uptown Harlem because there's a lot of stuff that goes on up there. Things that shouldn't really happen. Like the worst part about living there is like the drug rate that goes on, things you shouldn't see at a young age. Kids that's like 11, like 10 or 11, doing things that people my age is doing, stuff like that. So it's like, why bring your child into a community that's gonna mess their life up or mess their childhood up, you know what I'm saying, to where you can just move down all the way to the city in public housing. And Buns, I don't know what you want, so you need to get out of here. I'm doing a video. To public housing down in the city, which is the same exact thing, but it's much, the vibe and community there is much different. You know what I'm saying? Like, for some people treat their kids to where they can have a childhood. Some people aren't home, so that's probably why some of their kids don't have a childhood. I'm not blaming parents for anything for how they raise their kids. I'm only saying this because it's a bad thing that kids that's 10 to 16 don't realize what life really is. Another con is the ages that kids actually pick up weapons. Like, I've seen a 14-year-old when I was 14 pick up a gun. Another con about living in New York, another con, you could literally have beef with your neighbor. Like, that could live in 1B. You could live in 1B and your neighbor live in 1A, and that's literally right next to each other. You walk in the projects and it's literally right next to each other. So you could just be like, yo, like, you know, talk to your homies, you see y'all later and shit like that. You get home and the nigga behind you get home and you're like, yo, I'm not worried about this nigga. I catch this nigga in the morning. When morning comes, Jesus, it's on site. So once you and him walk out the door at the same time, it don't matter if it's a second, 2 seconds after, yeah, I gotta lock the door. Yeah, already scrapping like, yo, step outside. Like, that's the only con about living in New York. Like, is if you have beef with somebody, one person could be blood, the other one could be Crip. Here is different because it's cold. Obviously, it gets cold. So beef here, you're like, yo, it's too cold. I'm not gonna fight you. You know what I'm saying? But some motherfuckers be like, yo, I got a hoodie on, I got a strap in my merm, I'm good. I'm gonna clap this nigga. Da 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 da. Here is just, if I see you in a train station, if I catch you on a bus, if I catch you in school, if I catch you at one of the community parks that ball players be at, I'm fucking you up. I don't give a fuck if it's a good game. I'm beating your ass. I think I might go back to pros on this one because this is the only thing that really caught my sight. The pros about coming to New York is the basketball games, because the basketball games bring together a variety of kids that want to pave a path for themselves. Like, there be some kids that say like, yo, I want to play ball, I want to do this, I want to do that, and sometimes they're not cut out for that ball. Like, what are you doing? What are you doing? One of the pros for me is bringing young kids together that don't, like, some of them don't have to like each other, but you know, they play together really well. Like, yo, I don't like him, I don't like the way he played, but we got a connection going on. That's the only thing that I really love about New York is that it brings young kids together to play ball and teach them like teamwork and stuff like that, and that you live in this community right along with me, and I'm gonna bring you with me as long as we playing ball together. Like we both gonna make it out of here at the same exact time. It don't matter, and that's the only thing that I like about New York. That I love about New York. I don't like it, but I love it. That I love. That I like about my city is that Kennedy Fried Chicken. Kennedy Fried Chicken. Kennedy Fried Chicken is always open. Pro about it, about living where I'm at, is the education that goes on. Like the everything that happens in school literally can make your child way better and mature way faster at a young age. Like for some people, you can be mature, immature in the city. But the pro about where I live at is a whole different vibe. You know what I'm saying? Everything where I'm at is much different, way different than what it seems. The con about living here is that there's like nobody, like is literally nobody doing anything really. So it's like it's whack here, but when you go to the city, it's a pro and it's a con at the same time, because there's a whole lot of activities going on, but the con is you could get into something that you don't want to get into. You know what I'm saying? That's one of the pros and cons by being from the city. Like you could be you. I could have been born here if my mom knew about this, about the hospital here, but I was born in the city, so I know about the activities and whatever it is that goes on out there. So there's a pro and con at the same time. It's not even a 50-50. They're both 100% pro and con activities that goes on out in the city, and I love it. Don't get me wrong, I all for it. Pro, con, and this is probably gonna be the last one that I'm gonna do. Pro is having fun. Like you see people in Harlem riding dirt bikes, four wheelers. Like let us ride our quads and our dirt bikes. Like don't mess up our fun. Like we want to have fun. Like we're not doing anything to bother you, and like we don't put on red lights, red, blue, and flashing lights to pull you over. Like come on, let us do our thing. We having fun. We're not you acting like we going to another neighborhood to shoot up the block. Like we having fun. Let us have our fun. And a con is police always wanting to pull us over because we having fun. Let us have our fun. Like if we want to come outside with a quad, with a dirt bike, and we want to ride up the block, do wheelies and shit, let us do our thing. We not bothering nobody. We just want to have fun. You act like we got guns sitting in our crotches and shit. Like let us have our fun. Like get up out of here, man. We not bothering you. Don't bother us. We just want to have fun. But y'all don't understand that. Like if it was Philly, y'all let motherfuckers do whatever the fuck they want. Here, it's like, yo, like, y'all niggas need to get pulled over. Y'all bugging. And I'm gonna make sure you get a ticket and get arrested. Don't bother us. We having fun. We're having fun. Let us have our fun. We can't have our fun. It's nice out. You feel me? When it's nice out, the buns come out. You feel me? When it's nice out, we want those willies out. Like, come on, bro. We want to pull out bottles and shit. Let us have our fun. Like, that's the con about living here in New York and uptown, bro. We want to have our fun. Let us have our fun. Like, don't take that from us. That's the only thing we got. When it's nice outside, when it's 86 degrees, honestly, once it hits 60, 65, 70 degrees, bro, we want to pull the bikes out. Let us do our thing, man. Y'all want to pull us over for what? Like, and then y'all want to yell out our names. That's another con, too. Y'all want to yell out our first names in the street. Like, yo, bro, like, we just want to have fun. Chill out. Like, I'll just be like, if you never arrested me, I be having so much fun right now, bro. Like, y'all don't realize. Y'all messing us up. Y'all messing up our fun. We're not doing anything illegal. We're just having fun. Obviously, the dirt bike is registered under our names and shit. Like, pull that up in front of me. Like, let us have our fun. Be like, we not doing nothing, man. Y'all want to pull us over and whatnot, man. Shit. That's the end of the video.